Hello again everybody, thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be doing a quick kit review on the Panther, the Panzer Kampfwagen 5 in 135 scale by Tamiya. This is an older kit, so this was late 70s, early 80s this was made. Detail is a little lacking, but still a fun build. Now you might have seen my video on the Panzer 4. Now I've since completed that vehicle and I had a lot of fun making it. I had no issues putting it together whatsoever, so even though it was an older kit, the detail is a little lacking in some areas, it was still a great, easy, fun, enjoyable build, and yeah, I had a ball, so I'll probably get another one sooner or later. Panzer Kampfwagen Ausf A, so very quick history lesson before we open the box. Now, please, someone chime in, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. According to the references that I've got, the Ausf A was the initial production batch of the Panther. Now, it was meant to be followed up by the Ausf B. Now, for various reasons, the Ausf B never went into production. I think it had to do with the transmission in the tank itself. So it never entered production. No one really knows what happened to the Ausf C. If I'm mispronouncing it, you have to forgive me, but no one ever really knows what happened to the Ausf C. The records were either lost or they just skipped the designation. The first major model was actually the Ausf D, and you might see them sometimes, and the reason why I'm discussing this, you might see them sometimes as Ausf A and Ausf D. The Ausf A designation was later changed to Ausf D, and then the D was sometimes referred to as the D2 because there were differences between the production versions. And then later on they went on to the G. But so it gets a little bit confusing, and I'm not quite sure why they did that. Some people say, oh, it was to keep the record straight or whatever, but yeah, it gets a little bit annoying. I have seen references to, the reason why I'm mentioning it, I have seen references to kits referring to D2. So if anyone's out there wondering, well, why does one say D and the other says D2, well, that's why. The D is generally the Ausf A. So if you see something that says D2, then that might be why. But I have seen some references to it, but I actually haven't seen a model kit like that. But if you do come across it, that's what it is. So D or D2, it's very similar tank. D is just going to be the, if it says D as opposed to D2 versions, or on the box, it's just the different production run. Enough of me prattling on. Let's have a look in this kit, shall we? Alright. So, most of the components in the kit come in a plastic bag. The hull sections do not, but all the sprues and everything are contained in a plastic bag. Now, as I was saying, the detail on these is not huge. Certainly not compared to the level of detail that you want to get. So if you're looking for that you get on more modern kits. So if you're wanting a project where you can up detail it, this is a good one to start with. It's reasonable budget, a lower price obviously, and it has some decent welding details and a few other bits and pieces on it which are quite well done. And for the time, I have no doubt it would have been a very popular kit. This is the second one I've got. I've actually purchased another one previously, and I liked it. I haven't finished building it, and I'll show you why later. I really liked it, so I snapped up another one when I had the chance, and it was cost me what, 25 Australian. So you're looking, what's that? That's maybe 15, 16 US at the current exchange rate, maybe a little bit more. So not much. Right, so that's the top section. Lower hull. And he's saying the details are quite basic, so there's not a huge amount of detail. This is one thing I find annoying, and thankfully most manufacturers don't do it now. You have the stamp on the bottom here, on the bottom of the tank. It's really not going to be an issue unless you really want to detail that area for whatever reason. Yeah, so you can see it there, and it actually says on there 1969, so I'm tipping it's not that old. We'll have a look on the instructions later and see if it tells us exactly how. And they've got the openings in the hull here for people that were motorising their models, so you can see some of the mount points and everything inside there, but you don't really use those in the build. There are two, I suppose you call them torsion bars, that come through here at either end, so they're free and moving, so when you go to put the tracks on later you can rotate those wheels and make it a bit easier to get it on. Other than that, pretty straightforward. Polycaps. You don't see too many of these on, well, I tend not to see too many of these on modern kits these days. I know I could be wrong. There could be manufacturers that use a lot of them still. So polycaps. If you hear my little dog in the background there, I'm sorry. Someone's knocked on the front door, of course. Turret section. Once again, you've got the weld details, hatches, everything like that. Pretty basic. It's got the earlier exhaust system here. So some of you might notice that the exhaust system on some of the later models is different. But that's it there. Gun mantlet, turret ring, or base of the turret, back of the turret, commander's cupola, and your gun. Now I didn't replace the gun on the one I started building, I just joined it together and sanded it, and it looks quite good. But it's certainly something you could upgrade if you wanted. Keep going on, let's have a look. Alright, so you've got tools, you've got some spare tracks, tow cables, these are the stowage bins for the back of the tank. These here is this little stowage section where they used to keep the cleaning equipment for the gun barrel, if I'm not mistaken. And you've got a figure now, this is probably, well, a couple of figures, this is probably sort of the weak point of the kit, and where it could do some aftermarket there. You could get rid of those figures, the detail on them, I'll see if I can zoom in on this little guy for you. Detail on them's not real great. I don't know, put my hand behind, sorry everyone. There we go. So you're seeing there, I mean he's pretty, yeah, it's pretty basic. And the other one's not much better. Alright, so there's some good aftermarket figurines available. I hear Verlinden is closing down, if I'm not mistaken, so if that is true, then you might be able to pick up some decent stuff from them. They tend to do, at least they used to do some fairly decent little figures. So the figurines, kind of average. You've got these little spare tracks here, and generally these are mounted on the later models. They put them on the side of the turrets, but also they had them on the rear part of the side hull. So I'll just get that out here. It's the rear part of the side hull just there. Now they have a mounting bracket and everything, so you can put them on and you pretty much just glue them to the side of the tank. What I don't like about them is the level of detail. So you can imagine that's the bottom side, which you end up gluing to the tank. Alright. And it's got some pin marks on there, but it's not a big deal because you're gluing that side of the tank, right? But it's also happens to be the most detailed part. So if you look at the other side here, look at that, there really isn't much detail on it there at all. Now I put a couple of them on, I didn't put all of them on, but I put a couple of them on, and I wasn't too worried about it. But you know, another aftermarket opportunity if you want to upgrade it. Basic tools, everything like that. There's the back. So the rear section, everything mounts on. Not too bad. The fit of the model, like everything went together really well, as you'd expect from Tamiya. So no issues. It's got the road wheels here, which have got your rubber on the outside, because it's an early production version. They had the steel rim ones later on. Detail's not great, but it's not terrible either. You know, it's okay. Not bad. You can work with it. A few washes, decent weathering. It's going to look quite good. The back's obviously quite bland. Yeah, but not too bad. Vinyl tracks. I understand you get better looks, better sag and everything like that when you're doing individual track links, but I personally prefer these. I just can't be bothered, to be honest, most of the time doing individual track links. So these I find work quite well. I never have an issue with them. So there we go. Move on to the next one. Alright, Decals. Decals or Decals, whatever you pronounce them. They're actually reasonable quality, very good quality. Their register is quite good. There's no real issues with them. The only thing is, and we'll show you in a minute, the instructions really don't have a lot of detail when it comes to painting and decals. So, because it's an older kit, so you're really sort of free to make up whatever you want. They've included a couple of things in here. Now, my recognition of symbols isn't as good as it used to be, guys. So, if I'm not mistaken, we've got a Das Reich symbol there, and possibly a Totenkopf. Not sure what the center one is. as well, and then you got divisional markings here. So you could use your references, have a look, get some good photos. You can easily make up your own tank, and obviously that's for the kill markings on the barrel if you want to put them on, so on and so forth. Alright, so pretty neat. Instructions, you get 2 sets of instructions, and let's just go to the English instructions. Alright, so making the kit. First facts about the German Panther tank. Well, it gives you a rundown on the tank. Blah 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 blah. Interestingly enough, it talks about Daimler-Benz in here. Now, those of you that may not know, Daimler-Benz and MAN ended up producing the Panther, but Daimler-Benz was contracted to make a prototype, and both prototypes were called the test the memory, VK3002. Daimler-Benz was 3002 DB, and MAN was 3002 MAN. Hitler apparently actually preferred the Daimler-Benz version, and it was a little bit lighter, if I'm not mistaken. He actually preferred the Daimler-Benz version, and there was an order placed for 200 of them. Now, the Panther committee, it is believed, conveniently ignored that fact, and preferred this model for various reasons. So we could have had a very different sort of history going as far as German tank production goes if it had gone the other way. It's not clear what happened there, but certainly the change was made. So it gives you your little parts, or your sprue count there, all the details there, which is good. And then you start with the assembly. Alright, so the assembly is pretty basic. Rear of the tank, hull, road wheels. I haven't done the road wheels yet, because I'm just leaving those off till I finish the main body. Gun, gun mancelet, rear escape hatch. Now you can have the hatches open or closed. You've got your turret ring and the rear and all the assembly there. Any aircraft protection mounted on the roof, and a nice little turret ring there. The instructions are actually a little bit vague when you're looking at big details of sort of where you want to position this. It's a little bit difficult to figure out where it actually connects. So, sorry, I'll just move that to the center of the screen. Sorry, everybody. So it's a little bit difficult to actually figure out where your connection points are. So use your reference photos and have a good look, and you'll see them quite easily. There's, just a quick Google search will find you what you're after, and go from there. Okay. That's your travel lock for the gun. The barrel, the utensil container, sorry, forgive me, not the barrel, for the cleaning equipment, working equipment, so on and so forth. Now, as I was saying, at the bottom here, I've got to keep remembering to put that in the center. Rookie mistake. Alright, so that's your track sections there that glue on the side. As I said, yeah, they were okay. Would probably benefit from an aftermarket. Interestingly, the gun, the machine gun for the front hull, has actually got its own little ball mount, so you can actually move it around and position it, and you can see it there. That's quite a nifty little feature. I like that. The tow cables. So if you have a look at the tow cables there, if I go back to the sprue which has got them, you'll see the difference. So on the sheet there, you've got the little bendy tow cable. On the sprue, they're dead straight. Excuse me, just knocked my camera. So they're dead straight. On the instructions, it does say to put them in warm water, and you can sort of put them in hot water for 2 to 3 minutes and bend slowly, as shown in the figure. Blah blah blah. Be careful not to break it. I haven't bothered to do that, to be honest. There are plenty of pictures of them without the tow cables attached. They might have fallen off or left them on another vehicle, etc., etc. So I haven't bothered to do that, but it shouldn't be too hard to do if you want to do it. Instructions, all the little handles and everything, and all the other parts of sub-assemblies that you've done, all being put onto the tank. All right, and it shows you how to fit the two halves, and it fits together really well. Just make sure you do this section first, otherwise you might end up actually breaking off those little plastic tabs that are on the front of the hull, and I'll just show you those again. See, there's little bits here. Alright, So don't try and force it together if you do it the other way, because you will break them. So as I was saying, the paint instructions, yeah, there really isn't anything there. So it goes tank photo albums, super detail the tank, blah 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 blah. It doesn't even have really much of a color chart on the back there, or so that is a little bit frustrating. But there's plenty of reference materials available, so you can really make up what you want. The one I've chosen to do, I've chosen one from France. It's served in France, and with a which battalion? Well, it was 654, something like that. It was with a command vehicle for a Jag Panther battalion, essentially. So I've chosen that one, and I'll touch more on that in another video. But there you go. All right, pretty simple, good kit. Do I recommend it? Yes, I do. If you're looking for a quick build, have a bit of fun on the weekend, not stress about, oh, is this exactly right, or have I put this in, 1/10 of a millimeter too short or too long, whatever. No, don't worry about it. Just have a good build, enjoy yourself, get back to basics. And I think after we do sort of super detailed projects, it's often a lot of fun to get a basic simple kit and just enjoy it. So definitely I'd say recommend it. It can benefit from aftermarket products, but at the end of the day, it's a Panther on your shelf. So I'm looking forward to completing it, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give me a like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget, we've got the Facebook page now, where I'll have artworks coming up. I've got a Jag Panther on there at the moment, so I haven't done a drawing on one of these yet, but I will be doing one. And I've just put an F-15 on there too. I've got a few things coming along. So Facebook page, Andrew Arts and Models, and definitely have a look at some of the stuff on there for me, and just let me know what you think. And yeah, we'll go from there. Thanks again for watching, and we'll have another video coming very shortly. Cheers.